Acceptance leaps without forest killer. Pray shortcuts, avoid understanding. About humankind, try overconfidence reality. Like anyways. Humankind guesswork. Notice above ourselves thing. Logic, intuition lurk sea defies. Predator evolved asset, unproven. Intuition answers, the greatest all defies reality. Dangers long understanding. Reality truth thing. Greatest defies intuition, dangerous trees. Dangerous reality stars outside understanding. Takes humanity, sought truth's perception. Last time, your agents got sort of captured by Delta Green. We had some home scenes as well, but that was really the big thing. Your lives were all just falling apart as you lost a month to originally some group whose name you don't know for sure, but has been referred to as the uncle nobody talks about, right? The uncle. But now Delta Green also caused you to lose a month. That was right after you got back to your lives and started interacting with people again. You just disappeared. This time you had at least some kind of an explanation. It was a coma. You awoke from this coma, went back to your lives, and then did not hear from Delta Green for almost 6 years. It is now 2005. You've all been checking in on your dead drop locations or however else you get your Delta Green communications. In hopes that, well, maybe not even in hope, but just as a habit. Just making sure that you see it if they do try to contact you, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's probably a bad thing. And unfortunately, it has happened. All of you have found an envelope with a green triangle on it, which you never remember seeing on your previous things. It's a different format. It's a lot more official looking than your previous Delta Green communication. But perhaps that's just the times changing. You know, years have passed. They've just probably upgraded some things. So, you've been summoned to the FBI office in Manchester, once again. The same place you were summoned to begin your last opera. Are all of you just going straight there? The invitation is for just tomorrow, the day after you receive the invitation. And I will also add some extra detail there. Today is March 6th, 2005. Tomorrow will be the 7th, and you are summoned to be there at 3 p.m.
I think Hematite would probably text the rest of them something along the lines of, I just got tickets to a new opera. Are you guys coming?
No replied, for better or for worse.
I'll probably reply something along the lines of, I guess.
I'll just reply, sure.
Together this, is what I'll say, and then I'll head up.
Alright. So, do we see all 4 agents at the FBI office that day, or is anyone giving up on Delta Green? Okay. I will say, if your agent would give up on Delta Green, we'd probably do a really rapid character creation, but
I mean, my guy has probably been frantically using FBI or intelligence resources to look into the unnatural.
This temptation's too good to give up. Well, I don't hear anyone saying no, so the 4 of you arrive, much like you did 6 years ago now, almost. Yeah, there's the 4 of you in this reception area with a front desk. And there's like a secure door at the back of the room that you were let through before by a badged employee or a badged agent. You are all just told to sit and wait for a little bit. You all probably arrived a little bit early. And then the door at the back of the room. I guess I'll ask. Do any of you talk with each other while you're just sitting in that room?
No.
Hal will try to make conversation. Hey, so it's been 6 years. How are you all doing?
Doing all right. Do you think any of us would have kept in contact with each other?
I think in the intervening years, Hallow, like I mentioned at the end of the last session, but Hallow is definitely not working for the FBI anymore. He started his private thing, his PI thing with Isolde, and we've probably reached out to you at least a couple times for one reason or another, because Isolde, she had a similar occupation, so. But outside of maybe some work stuff, I don't know.
If anybody tried to get in touch with Hunter, he just wouldn't have replied.
So perhaps the three of you are surprised to see Hunter here today after just not hearing from him in years.
Well,
Glad you're alive.
yeah.
Glad one of us is.
It's been an interesting few years. Anybody been trying to find out anything? Because I poked at it a little bit, but didn't get anywhere.
About the same. Always keep finger on the pulse of what's going on in the underground. I'm on notebook number 7 now.
I didn't do any of that garbage anymore. I don't even use the internet. That's how they watch you. If you can see in through something, you can see back out. None of you should be using anything with a screen.
Hell, just kind of gives him a look like, I see the years have not been the most kind to you, have they, bud?
No.
Well, I hope things go better for you, and
We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, we're about to go to a rockin' opera. This is only gonna go bad.
And as if to confirm that statement, you hear a slight beep and a green light on the handle of that secure door in the back of the room. So the handle turns, the door is pushed open, and you see Grace, your old handler who brought you all into this 7 years ago now.
So are we actually H-Cell, or was that just something you said?
She looks over at the receptionist and just smiles, and then looks back at you all and says, "Not here. Let's head back to a room."
Wow.
What was that? Discord only sent one syllable of whatever it was.
Oh. You said Grace was the one to see us, right?
Yes.
All right. Hematite would probably say something along the lines of, "So you're still here."
As I get up
Yes.
from the bench, I would definitely say, no bags this time.
Hala will second that as he heads in also.
No bags this time. She just smiles at you. Holds the door open for you. She leads you all down a hall, heels clicking as she leads you down and past a bunch of different doors. None of them have windows, and eventually just turns to what it's kind of like an arbitrary one, it seems. Pushes on it. There's a hallway behind it, leads you down there. Another arbitrary door leads into one of those, again, windowless rooms like when you met Derringer. Just a small, just a small room lit by just a couple overhead like fluorescent lights. There's like a TV on a rolling cart and all of that, but it's a little newer now. It's been 6 years. They've upgraded their equipment. It's not just like a VHS player built-in TV thing. And a bunch of chairs. She pulls one to the side, so that it's facing the other chairs, and it takes a seat at it and then gestures to the other chairs.
Hunter sits down very heavily.
Still going by Grace these days?
Yes. It's a useful code name.
You can answer
we should
any
keep
questions.
ours.
Please take a seat first. We can talk.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. I would recommend holding on to your code names, although we don't use them in the same way anymore. Things have changed a lot since you've been away. I will officially say to you all, welcome to the program.
We going to get terminated if we do this mission this time and
Yeah,
survive?
We're gonna get black bagged by you again? Get told that we're not who we thought we were again?
Agents, I can make no promises either way. You know how this works. We will do our best,
They might
of course.
have changed.
Things have changed over the years here. Things are different. A little bit of I suppose you all have a little bit of catching up to, so I'll fill you in on a few details here. I apologize for not reaching out to you for a few years here. There's been a lot of organizational turbulence, let's say. That old uncle, we were calling them? There was a bit of a confrontation with them over the years, even during the time that you were previously active. A silent war. We had to make sure that after we spent a long, long time tracking them all down after we were victorious, that interrogating people, none of your names would come up. We had to make sure that you were not compromised. And congratulations, you were not.
Do not. Seems like you're a lot more certain than you were last time we talked.
Yes, that is what years of... well, you all understand how this goes. I'm sure you won't be shocked to hear that years of targeted assassinations, captures, and interrogations have made us a lot more certain in your allegiances.
And the crazy uncle, is he ever going to pay us a visit again?
No, but you may see some familiar faces around.
Oh, so he got welcomed back into the family.
You could say that.
Does this mean whoever kidnapped us for that month that we went missing the first time now works for you?
I cannot.
That's the only
confirm or
face
deny
that we've ever seen.
It was a figure of speech.
Ah. Anyways, I assume we're here because you need us again, so what's so dire that you're reaching out to a group of washed up agents?
Indeed. You were all automatically downgraded to friendlies over the last few years, but I am here welcoming you back, upgrading you all, and re-enlisting you all as agents. This is necessary due to how the organization changed, of course. I'm sure you all understand. I won't bore you with the paperwork and the bureaucracy of it. You were agents, you're agents again. That's what matters. We have an issue in the area. It's an area you were previously active in, or close enough to the regions you've been active in before. We don't have any other agents available in the area. You all seem like the perfect asset to tackle this one. However, just double checking, none of you pursued medicine in the years since you were away. No?
Nope.
How do you mean? Like,
No, none of you became
Yeah.
doctors, nurse practitioners.
Nope.
no,
I thought you would have known this. But no.
But it's good to confirm with you directly. You're going to need an extra recruit then. She looks at a clipboard and flips through a few pieces of paper. You worked previously with Dr. Collins, one of our friendlies in the area. He's been active these years. Hopefully you'll work together with him again as well. Does this sound reasonable? Anyone have bad blood with Dr. Collins?
I'm surprised he survived.
yeah, that.
It's been a while, but I don't remember anything bad. Feel like we worked well, best as could be expected.
Do you
How
have
did-
any
how did
bad
he
blood
not-
with us?
Didn't he work at that hospital where everybody died? Where they were dealing with the...
Yes, more forensics was done on that case. It turns out it was not a terribly contagious virus. It was transmitted through consumption of substances. The town's water supply was contaminated. I'm surprised all of you survived. I assume you had something to drink while you were there. Perhaps we can thank our old uncle for that.
Oh, just like
Maybe.
his face kind of screws up. He's just trying to remember if they actually drank anything or ate anything that last time.
All I remember is lots of coffee. Maybe coffee kills whatever it was.
Some
Yeah,
beer.
Well, whatever the case it was, if we see something similar in the future, I'll make sure to have them test coffee and beer. But we're hoping we don't have a repeat of that incident, and the virus has disappeared ever since that day, so I think we'll be okay there. I'm just glad you survived.
I'm
So,
pretty glad
yes.
I survived, though explaining 2 months basically back to back was a little difficult.
Understood. I apologize for the way we had to operate in the past. I do promise we operate better now. We provide benefits now, and a salary if you want it.
Okay.
tell me more.
Well, we could enlist you all as agents of our actual program. You'd be officially working under the NSA, but we could move you around to different agencies if you prefer a different spot. I know you previously had FBI experience, Agent Hallow, and Agent Hightide, you were in intelligence as well. But it's not strictly necessary unless that is something you'd like to pursue, but we can work on that after the emergency is dealt with.
Yeah, it also depends on how well you treat us this time around.
Yeah, I'm
course.
gonna be honest, I'm still pretty suspicious of you guys, given last time.
Oh, I'm happy to answer questions if it will help settle those suspicions.
What did you mean by H-cell last time?
Well, there was an H-cell before you. They all
Did
died.
they also go to Dorchester?
No, they just all died.
Was it similar or unrelated circumstances?
Unrelated circumstances. They bravely fought and died, but they just didn't make it out. They were not the first H cell either. I have had multiple H cells fall under my watch. Unfortunately, I'm sure those above me have seen multiple G cells fall, and so on.
All right. So tell us more about what we're about to be getting into this time then. I think
Yeah,
I'm
and
ready
what's
to hear
this?
about it if these other three are.
And what's this program now? You keep saying program.
We used to call it Delta Green, and that is still an official name going around, but the program is what it's usually referred to as. Just an organizational difference. If, well, this might help clarify things. When we first worked together, I had sold you on Delta Green being an official government sanctioned operation. It was not. But now we are. And things have changed a little bit because we are.
So you mean more red tape?
More red tape, unfortunately. But benefits. And more funding. We are much better connected than ever before.
So basically Delta Green usurped the uncle.
In a manner of speaking, yes.
Well, at least there's benefits now.
Now, some of you have not been so accepting. We would call them the outlaws. Old agents who didn't get with the program, so to speak. Not really an important detail for this case, but if that ever comes up, now you know.
In what sense?
In what sense of what? Can you be more specific?
So, like, if we elected to retire now, would we be outlaws?
No. We'd probably keep you on record as friendlies at the very least.
People who actively fought the changes.
Yes, they consider us sellouts who sacrificed our freedom and our mobility and just to get health insurance. That's what they think. I think we have much better resources now.
So you're saying it's easy for us to get a flamethrower?
Yes,
And I would
I
look at
mean,
Hunter.
I would still. Your GM will still require a bureaucracy role of some kind to accomplish that, but yes, it is more possible.
Not necessarily sure I care too much about the benefits as long as we don't die at Delta Green's hands.
Now, aliens, that's perfectly okay, but you guys, like, let's not do that again.
So please understand that you all take a risk when you go out on missions.
Oh, yeah, that part's fine. It's just I don't want to get black bagged by the people I'm supposed to be working for.
Understood. But what happens if you stumble upon a mimetic virus and there is no cure? What happens if you are infected with a deadly, otherworldly disease that could spread to others and there is no cure? What happens if
you could be a little more polite about it at first, at least.
What happens if your mind is replaced with another's? Or you become under the influence of another entity? Our politeness may turn into you becoming a threat. You risk going on these missions becoming a future mission. We cannot promise that that will not be the case. But we can promise that it shouldn't become the case unless you become compromised in some way. I can't do any better than that.
Open about it next time.
Yes, well, again, there's a possibility you get into a situation where we suspect you're in a situation, even, where if we were to contact you about it and be more open about it, you would flee and cause untold damage.
I mean, yeah, that sure. I think, yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter at this point.
Do
Feels
we all understand
like
the
we know
risks?
what we were getting into last time, but this time I think we've got a better idea.
Well, I mean, I guess in terms of understanding the risks, how has the threat changed to us?
How has the threat changed to you?
Yeah, because the organization has evolved. I assume the extraterrestrials and supernatural that we're supposed to be investigating has evolved as well.
Yes, there's all sorts of different threats out there. We're not sure what this threat will be until you get there. And for your own safety, we will refrain from giving you knowledge you don't need. It can only risk your mind. I hope that's understood as well.
Fair enough. I guess it's time to get down to the mission, unless you guys have other questions.
I would just quietly go,
Very well. You'll be traveling to Vermont, not too far from where you were previously. In Dorchester. She flips her a few pages in the clipboard she's got.
I thought Dorchester was completely like destroyed, basically.
Not the one in Vermont, the one in New Hampshire, and not the one in Massachusetts either.
Sorry, she was saying close to Dorchester, where you were before. Because Dorchester is kind of close to the Vermont border. You'll be headed to Vermont, to Montpelier. There's the Environmental Protection Agency has been working in tandem with the Washington County Vermont Sheriff's Department to investigate a death that happened outside the city. Of course, this is not unusual, but there are some unusual facts here. The WCVSD deputy Fred Jacob died 6 days ago, unexpectedly, in his home from toxic shock from massive heavy metal poisoning. Cadmium, arsenic, zinc, the works. He was 37 years old, married, no children, and had been working his job as a deputy for 12 years. The condition came on suddenly over the course of a few days. Normally, the spread of such a contamination would take months to accumulate to the levels that it was accumulated in his system, in the organs it was accumulated in. There was no reports of an industrial accident that could have caused such a thing. And he reports that the coroner found that his gut flora levels were strange. There were very low levels of normal bacteria, and mostly replaced by an unknown kind of bacteria that the coroner could not find any records of. This is what drew our attention. The coroner's report lists the cause of contamination inconclusive. You all are being sent in as a specialist team from the FBI's Critical Incident Response Group. So, Agent Hallow, I understand you're no longer working directly with the FBI.
Not anymore.
Understood. Well, the plan was for all of you to become FBI consultants for this case. It'll be a little bit harder without a real FBI agent among you, but that's fine. You're a special task force. There are other agents on site that can help make things more official. It'll just slow you down a little bit. but all 4 of you will be officially hired by the FBI at a consulting basis for this case. We like to do things more official here. No more completely fake credentials. There are simply too many federal agencies involved in this case that could look into your identities. I recommend using your real identities for this. If they find out you're using a fake one, it could bring back all sorts of problems. We will simply make sure that your real identities point to all the right things in the right places.
That certainly makes things less complicated.
Indeed. Power of more resources and more connections.
Power of benefits.
The power of benefits, indeed. Officially, you 4...
Is there a way to keep this restricted to only need to know for the government organization?
Restrict your identity, only need to know?
Restrict the record of this mission?
The record of this... well, these are not public record anyways, so...
Okay.
Yes.
Basically, I'm sure you're aware that my audience and my social circle, such as it is, would not look very highly on me for consulting with a federal agency.
Understood. No, that will be more your responsibility not to go flashing badges in places you don't want your badge to be seen. This will not appear on any public records anyways.
All right.
So officially, you all are going to, she puts her fingers for air quotes, facilitate the EPA investigation and look for evidence of criminal pollution. Your real purpose there will be to determine if this indicates an unnatural threat. If so, identify the threat and neutralize it, destroy the body and limit human exposure. Look for evidence that can justify restricting the investigation as a classified bioterrorism. Bioterrorism case. This will keep the EPA from encountering the possible unnatural threat, as you all will take over exclusive coverage of it.
Got any helpful scapegoats?
Well, no. You'll have to find that out as you go, unfortunately. But as long as you can find some evidence that this was caused by someone attempting to commit the terrorism, we can make it classified, then nobody needs to know what fake person you put on the records. Or fake group you put on the records. We'll handle that.
And when in doubt, we can say the deceased was the terrorist.
That's an option if you'd like to pursue it, yes. We'll leave that up to you. Okay, going over these notes. We've already gone over no medicine training from any of you. Okay, yes, you'll be recruiting Dr. Collins. We'll make sure to get you in touch with him. Oh, yes, you all will be responsible for your own travel and accommodations this time. All of you good at memorizing coordinates, or do you have something to write this down on? Make sure it's something you can burn. I recommend memorizing, really.
Memorizing works.
I can memorize.
Excellent.
Will we be reimbursed, or is that where the benefits come in?
We'll get to that after you complete this.
Fair enough. We might not survive.
That is part of it, yes, and there is the other half is we simply do not have the time for all the paperwork to get you officially employed by the FBI or NSA again in time for this, but we will do so afterwards if it is your wish to get reimbursement.
Okay, understood.
Good.
And how difficult is it for us to get in contact with you should we need anything this time?
I will give you my number that you will only use to contact me for Delta Green emergencies or when you need something from the program.
So emergencies would classify as threat, his escaped or is uncontainable, things like that.
Yes, I would say, honestly, in a case like this, where lives are at stake, any resource you might need to end this more swiftly would count as an emergency. This is an emergency case to begin with. We don't want another Dorchester situation on our hands if this is a spreading bioweapon of some kind. The faster we can take care of this, the better.
Officially have authority to coordinate any response efforts and handle it as we see fit.
Yes. Unfortunately, none of you have the power of arrest at the moment as simple consultants, but you can get strong resources from us, absolutely.
I think that was where we ran into trouble last time, was having a pseudo handler who needed to be kept in the loop.
Yes. Unfortunately, Agent Derringer was a little over his head. But we will leave that past in the past. So here are the coordinates I was talking about, and she reads you a set of GPS coordinates. This will lead to a green box. I'm sure you've encountered at least one of those by now. In fact, I remember giving you the coordinates of the previous one we had in the area, Agent Hepatite. This green box, however, you'll need to bring a metal detector for. I recommend that.
Or a standard metal detector.
Just a standard metal detector should do.
Oh.
All right, and a final note before any of you have more questions. These local officials likely won't be too happy about FBI consultants stomping around on their turf. I recommend making contact with the sheriff's office first to establish the investigation with the right foot forward. It's better than you just arriving and starting to investigate and snooping around, and then they have to find you later and all of that. Plus, they can give you some of the details they've already investigated to begin with.
All right.
And I guess, is taking notes this time frowned upon still?
Yes, do not, well, I will leave it in your responsibility, but please report if any of your notes go missing or anything of that nature. Because, again, such notes could be considered the entire target of another mission. So do be careful, agents.
Guess we'll do our best.
Yes, please do your best to avoid any and all exposure to the public or to potential adversaries that are out there who may be trying to get information from you. Things have changed. There's a little more espionage now. So be careful out there, agents. Any other questions? Good. Well, if you all can head straight over to Montpelier immediately, this would be perfect. We really need to get this going as soon as possible.
All right.
Yep.
GM,
Sounds
can I
good to
take
me.
a quick pause to feed my cat?
Absolutely. So, the rest of you, though, are you all just hopping in cars and heading straight over there? You preparing anything before you leave?
How's Hallow Will on his way out? Just send a quick message to his own like, hey, I'm going off on a solo thing for a minute here. I'll tell you about it when I can.
Right. Just checking in with the bonds.
Yep, just gonna checking in like, hey, go and do a thing. And I think something that Hello might want to do later, if he gets through the end of this, is to ask for Isolde to be read into the program also,
Hmm.
because this has always been the whole thing, like interest in the unnatural or supernatural, paranatural has always been one of her things too. So now that there's a real thing and there's benefits.
Yeah, health insurance. Crazy.
Yeah, and we're a PI office, man. Like we have to figure out our own benefits.
Delta Green represents a pretty serious health risk, so they've got pretty good health insurance, I'd imagine. Surprisingly comprehensive health coverage. Suspiciously comprehensive, even.
And I think that's how he deflects what he's about to be going into inside. It's a private job. We might get benefits out of this.
Yes. Okay. So this was to
This is to Isolde.
Isolde, yes. Okay.
I'm back.
It doesn't work with Ashley anymore.
That's right. Yeah, Ashley's just in the FBI, but not an agent, not a Delta Green. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay. So everyone heading over in separate cars. You're gonna carpool over. It's a few hours away.
Hunter has a new truck. He's going by himself. It's not a new truck. It's not new even at this point, but it's not the one that was destroyed previously, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Did he get the exact same truck model he had before? Just replaced it?
Yeah, but that's only because that's what like literally everybody just has and is
Perfect.
selling.
I like it.
Driving the same sedan, it's got a few more dings and a few more layers of bumper stickers.
Classic.
I am driving an upgraded, almost kind of like the same black SUV that Hallow had instead of my old rinky-dink one, and it has like a full bull bar in the front because would have been useful to hit stuff in the last mission. So
Hal will ride with High Tide, seeing as he has a upgraded version of his old car.
There you go. All right, so 3 cars
then
headed
checks
over.
the back, like, do you also have an arsenal back here?
no, I'm an intelligence agent. I don't have all the stuff, but this car is a good enough weapon if it needs it.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? My old methods of getting guns and things probably wouldn't work. They have a lot more controls over impound nowadays.
Yeah, those attacks that happened a couple years ago, they've kept me busy.
Oh, I can't imagine.
All right.
Is it a Bush dude or not?
Jesus.
That's classified.
Incredible.
Hematite definitely believes Bush had a prominent role.
Oh.
At this point, Hematite's probably got a pretty popular blog going dedicated to the occult and the unnatural. Not necessarily Delta Green's variety of unnatural, but, chasing down as many alien leads and occult things that she can find.
Makes sense. Yeah, and this year would be right in the thick of the Iraq War as well. So I'm sure that's keeping intelligence people quite busy. Whole bunch of stuff, just in general. Very fun times.
Yeah, I've been trying to do alien research, but oh boy, we've been busy with everything.
So you guys make your way over. Takes you a couple hours. You probably arrive around 5-ish, maybe a little before 5. Were you headed straight to the sheriff's office, or did you have a different target in mind?
Whoever the terrorist is.
On our way out, call the sheriff, on our way out of town, so that they'd know we were coming and that we've been assigned to work with a doctor in specialized equipment.
Makes sense. Oh yeah, you probably had to pick up Dr. Collins at some point. So who is he riding with?
I mean, he's always welcome to ride with hematite.
Sure, he'll hop in with hematite. So as a reminder, Dr. Collins is he's an older doctor at this point. He's getting into like he's probably like would be retired, but like has chosen not to, like in like his 60s. And he's very bald, but he's got kind of some scruffy hair around the sides. He's these huge glasses, and he's kind of just a round guy in general. And so he hops into the seat of your car, and yeah, he heads over with you. So I think he'll make a little bit of conversation on the way, like, so you been active with the program? It kept me busy.
It's been reinstated.
Ah, I see. I'm back at it now, huh? I hadn't heard from you in a while.
From Delta Green since we showed up out of the blue that one day.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. I've seen a lot. They've sent me out on a lot of these field things. But hey, you know, just another one. Interested to see where this one goes. I was looking over some of the charts they had sent before. It's really interesting stuff. This poor fella. It seems like he got just infected by, like, he accumulated heavy metals throughout his entire body, like all at once. It doesn't really make any sense. Like, you'd imagine it would go to his maybe digestive system or like at a point of contact somewhere and then spread from there, but no. Seems like a terrible way to go.
Similarities to the last time we saw each other?
Oh, no, not really. That one was more, he pauses for a second, trying to think of like what the best way to put this would be. You can see him almost like look off in the distance a little bit, like he's remembering it. More flesh melty. This is more, well, I'm sure he felt very, very sick before he died, but it didn't look like the autopsy report mentioned anything about his flesh melting, so I don't think it's that similar.
Okay.
We didn't detect any abnormal any abnormal presence of heavy metals or anything in the last case. No.
Okay. Good to know. Has Delta Green been treating you well?
Oh, they've been paying better.
That's good. Last time I saw anyone from Delta Green was when they took the black bag off my head.
Yeah, I did hear about that. I said it was necessary or something. I don't know. I told him that I didn't think you were like spies or anything. It didn't make any sense, but
Did
yeah,
spend a
well,
month in involuntary custody of the crazy uncle in the family.
it's part of the job, huh?
Yeah. Been keeping you busy, huh?
Yeah, the things we do for the fate of humanity, I guess. That's really what's at stake here.
And how are you holding up?
Well, I'd sure like it if they read in some more doctors. They keep me quite busy. Honestly, I would have retired already, but doesn't really seem like an option.
Yeah. You seem to be doing a lot better after several missions than we were after our one.
Well, I'm not so much on the front lines as all of you are. I just, you know, They send me out occasionally to help with a few things like this, but the agents tend to keep me pretty sheltered, and I guess that's worth mentioning. I hope you do for me as well here. Just point me
Yeah.
at what you need examined. I can examine this body, or if you need other medical things, but you know. I try to limit my exposure as much as I can. I recommend you do the same.
Pick up the search for the metals that were cause of death?
Well, we'll know more when we get there. I'll have to take a look at the body first. I'm sure that's why the EPA got involved. It's, if there is some kind of massive chemical spill or other kind of intense criminal pollution happening in the area, they're going to want to shut that down. They're trying to protect the environment, of course. It's in their name. But really, we have no record of that. So if it did happen, it was kept secret, which is one thing we want to uncover. And if it was kept secret, it may have been kept secret because it was unnatural, or it may be unnatural because it never happened. We'll find out more, I guess.
All right.
Anyways, looks like we're almost there. I think this is our exit up here.
Yeah.
And you guys, did we say you were headed straight to the sheriff's then after you called them? I think that was the case. I think the only other address
That's
you would
what
have.
Hunter's doing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, I think Hematite would have tried the polite,
Yeah.
we want to be here in case this is a terrorism thing, and less of a this is our case now kind of deal.
Yeah, so you get the sheriff on the line then. Yeah, I heard about your task force. We're expecting you. Just we're expecting you. We heard about your task force. Just come right on in. All right, we'll cooperate.
I know jurisdiction can get tricky, so just wanted to make sure we aren't stomping on too many toes.
Oh, no toes being stomped at all. Don't worry. I'm actually gonna put my investigations sergeant Hayes. He's gonna be with you. He's gonna be assisting you. I put him full time on this case just for you. Can you give me a human roll, Hematite? Or actually, just what's your human score? Let's go with that.
Cats are causing havoc.
Ah, classic.
Human is 55.
55. Okay. So the way he sounds like he's putting on a fake cooperative front here, and he probably does care that you're stomping on his turf. But he has assigned you one of his guys to assist, quote unquote, in parentheses, follow around, keep an eye on you. So you're gonna have a tail, essentially, is what he's telling you here, but he's saying it in a more polite, like, yeah, we've got assistance for you kind of way.
Appreciate it. We'll do our best to keep him out of harm's way.
Appreciate it as well, and let us know if you have any need of resources here. We can go over the evidence once you get here.
All right.
And so
then
you
I
all... Yes.
Text everyone except, was it Hunter who was afraid of phones?
Afraid of what?
Phones. Screens.
Oh, yes. No, he's not afraid. He is wisely cautious.
Perhaps a little
He would
paranoid.
text everyone except Hunter that we're going to have a tail from the police department that we'll have to be mindful of.
He's got a pager, if that's helpful.
That has a screen.
Nah, Hematite got the pager that he didn't want to be communicated with, so he didn't bother.
Fair enough. So you all arrive at the sheriff's office. You're let inside. The sheriff actually comes to the door to welcome you since you said you're on your way. And he holds out a hand to shake in greeting. Sheriff Potter. Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Hunter will slowly shake his hand.
And your names are?
You can call me William.
William?
I'm Hunter.
Hunter? Strong name.
Checking my sheet. I'm Garrett.
Garrett?
Haven't used the real name in a while. I say out of character.
And you, miss? As he holds out his hand awkwardly in front of Hematite.
Yeah. Am I muted?
You were, possibly, because we weren't hearing you. But now you're not.
Okay. Yeah, I had introduced myself.
Oh, did I miss that? I might have just
I
missed
didn't
that.
hear it.
Okay, so it might
I
have
think
been
I
Discord
was
then.
speaking at the same time as somebody else.
Okay, well, do you all give your introductions then? So Sheriff Potter appears to be in his 50s. He's definitely the oldest one in the office as you look around. And everybody's just kind of watching his like reaction to you entering more than they're watching you. You can kind of tell that he's like top dog here, not just from his title, but like everyone here respects him and almost maybe sucks up to him a bit. Everyone else here looks to be a good bit younger, 1 or 2 decades younger than him. Nobody really in their 20s, but yeah, a lot of similarly aged like sheriffs and undersheriffs and deputies around. And they're all working on various things. He starts pointing around the room. Now there's Under Sheriff Pullman. We've got Patrol Captain Colbert, Patrol Sergeant Weiss, and then this will be Sergeant Hayes. And a man walks up to him. Looks to be about 40. He also holds out his hand to shake with all of you. And you can tell that once Hayes stands up and moves over to you and everyone else has kind of acknowledged your entry, everyone else kind of turns around and starts kind of ignoring the situation mostly. So, we normally have a few more folks around here, but I suppose these are the people in the room today. These are probably most of the people you interact with. You might run into one of our technicians out there, Kenyon. He's working with the EPA right now. Unfortunately, our coroner, Halsey, is sick today. But his assistant's here if you need to speak with her. And she'll be just down by the morgue, and he points at what appears to be a staircase down, just behind a big door. So, let's go over the evidence we do have. He passed away sort of unexpectedly. I'm sure you heard this already. Heavy metal, something, contamination. I'm not a doctor. But I'm sure you brought someone, and I forgot he was here, but I guess Dr. Collins would have introduced himself as well. Yeah, I guess you brought the doctor here to do some of that investigating, and then you'll go track down more evidence. But yeah, but he just passed away. Was very, very sick, unfortunately. We all feel very bad about it. His poor wife was 7 months pregnant, and then her husband dies. It's a terrible, terrible shame. But she's asked for space to grieve, so we've given her space. I'd recommend you don't go trying to talk to her. She needs space right now. Now, not much really happened strange around here. The EPA has already done some digging. We've been looking for potential sites of contamination all around the place. There is one potential hazard in the area, which they have been checking out, but it doesn't really make sense. They can't find any evidence directly linking things there. There's a pond to the north of here. It's actually called Eden Pit, and it's at the base of a mountain that used to be pretty much the largest asbestos mine in the country. Abandoned now, of course. But it's a real eerie spot, and there's all sorts of contaminations in that area. From what they tell me, though, it doesn't seem likely that he fell in there and came out all fucked up or anything like that. It wouldn't happen this quickly, I suppose. But they are checking over there just to make sure that, we didn't get worse than it has been or anything like that, or that nobody's polluting that area more strongly. I'm sure you'll meet the EPA agents eventually. You can discuss all that with them. Other things. Hey, Pullman. We still got that tape? That might be relevant. Let's show him the tape. Yeah. Alright, we got, there's really no unusual things that have happened over the past few weeks, before Jacob was, passed away. But there was this strange tape, and, well, the coroner thought it might be worth a look, I guess, and, we'll show it to you here. It's easier to just show you. So, you all gather around a TV, he pops in a tape. Yes, I'm so used to the 90s talk we've been having before. It wouldn't be a tape. This would be digital, but still. It's the early digital, kind of the crappy video quality, but it is digital. So pops in a DVD.
Is it a laser disc?
Is it a laser disc? It might be.
I would actually ask before he pops in the disc. So how long ago did your coroner do the investigation, and how long have they been out sick for?
That's a good question. The autopsy happened 5 days ago. You see him counting his fingers real quick. It was last Thursday. And then I think it was Saturday? Halsey called out yesterday on Monday, but we started hearing calls that he might have to call out sick on Monday because he was feeling very sick by Saturday. But no, I mean, he seems fine. He's just got the flu or something. He's homesick, and he'll be back when he's back. We haven't had any more bodies for him to look at in the meantime, so.
Did the assistant help with the autopsy?
She probably helped. You could go speak with her, but more like
who all has watched this video?
Everyone in this room. And
Okay.
some who aren't, but everyone from this office. It's a body cam footage from a strange interaction he had. I figure it's relevant. He was kind of concerned about it after it happened, and so, it's worth passing on. You'll see once we watch it, and then maybe it'll be more clear why it's worth looking at. If it's some kind of weird virus or something, this honestly could have been it. You see, he came back into the office, oh boy, it must have been a couple Sundays ago. Really. Not this last Sunday, but the Sunday before. That one. He came back to the office smelling like vomit. It was a rainy, heavy rainy day, and we sent him home to get changed. He was complaining he met some guy on the road, a drifter, who vomited on him, apparently. And we all laughed at him, sent him home, got him changed. He came back and everything was fine. But we checked the body cam footage later. He actually requested it. We thought, it's fine. It's just some drifter out there. But he was very concerned. He wanted to try and get this person help, but we've been trying to get the FBI to cooperate with some facial recognition, but so far, no luck. We have not been able to ID the person on the video. But hey, maybe that's what you all are here for. Here, let's watch it. Let's watch it. And so he hits play on the video. You can see it's body cam footage. you can see that Deputy Jacob was in his police vehicle driving around, and then it's a very, very heavy raining day. And it's, at that point still February. It's fairly cold out. Not like dead of winter, but it's a cold, rainy day. And he just sees out the window of his car some man walking down the side of the road in this extremely poor weather. This person does not appear to be wearing a coat or anything. He's just wearing like business attire. He's just walking down an empty road, like a back road, not in a city. And so Jacob pulls over, tries to get out and talk to this man. The man is Caucasian, in his 30s or 40s, wearing business attire. He appears extremely pale. Like, even through the heavy rain and fog you can see on the video feed, and even through the extremely compressed low-resolution footage, you can see his skin just appears ghastly. But, despite being described as a drifter, he's wearing this very fancy suit that is drenched. So the deputy pulls over to check on him and starts to question him. A few different questions, like, who are you? Do you have any ID on you? And the man is responding in a very confused manner. He's clearly delirious. He's clearly not in the right state of mind. And when asked, who are you? He's just like, what, who, what, who? No, me, no. Mm-mm. And the deputy tries to ask, can I go through your pockets? Can I try to find your wallet? And the guy just surrenders his pockets, but no wallet on him, no ID. Seems completely without anything on him. Jacob keeps on trying to question him, where are you going? Where are you coming from? Who are you? Do you need any help? Are you feeling okay? And this guy just can't seem to answer any questions at all. But the detective walks him over to his car and tries to get an emergency blanket around him and put him in the backseat of the police cruiser. When suddenly the man vomits extremely violently, just sudden projectile vomit, his whole body convulsed, and it sprays all over Deputy Jacob. And you can see the camera jump back, and Jacob starts cursing and saying, oh, God, man, at least it's raining. And he's like, I'm gonna call the fire department. I'm gonna get paramedics out here. We're gonna get you help, man. It's gonna be okay. And you can see his hand pass over the camera as he reaches up towards his radio. And then the man in the seat of his car suddenly snaps his attention up towards Jacob and says, "Stop." Jacob stops. You can see his hand still obscuring part of the video frame as it's just held there in front of him. And suddenly the pretty shaky camera previously attached to Jacob's body is perfectly still. One corner of it is unobscured from the arm in front of it, and you can see in this corner is this weird man's head. You can see the man is now staring wide-eyed directly at Jacob. Forget all about it. Let me go. Jacob's arm lowers, and he gets out of the way. And you can see the camera is now looking down the road into the rain and fog. This drifter gets up out of the car, and the perfectly still camera just watches him step slowly down the road. The camera makes no movement for about 5 minutes as this man disappears around the corner of the street, slowly limping away, disappearing into the fog. Then, suddenly, Jacob starts moving again. The camera starts shaking more as he's more normally moving, and he just gets back in his car, answers dispatch on the radio, says, "No, it was nothing. I'm coming back. I need to change clothes." And the video cuts.
Is the vomit normal color?
No. I guess I'll say easily enough, no. It appeared... do you have any medicine or first aid skill?
I have 30.
30 first aid?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you roll it? Let's see. This might be
Yeah, my
something you
first
know
check
from.
mark.
First check mark. It definitely did not look like normal vomit, but you can't really identify more than that about it.
So how long ago did you say this was taken?
This was a couple weeks ago. This was Sunday. It was Sunday the 26th of February.
And how long did it take for him to pass after this?
Well, Jacob died on the 1st, last Wednesday.
So 5 days, okay. Wait, no. February is short. Oops. 3 days.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think they're related. I don't know how vomit could cause heavy metal poisoning. It's got to be something else, but it was weird. Here's what I think. This is why this is relevant. I actually think this indicates something happened earlier. Two of you have law enforcement, right? This is GM asking. Two of you are were in law enforcement technically, or I guess it would really just be Hallow,
Yes.
because High Tide's in intelligence.
Yeah, I was in military training for like a year and then switched to intelligence.
So we'll say mainly Hollow picks up on something that maybe you're already thinking along similar lines to the sheriff here. That was a very weird interaction for a police officer to have. To just let somebody who was clearly in distress, clearly not in the right state of mind, and clearly needed medical attention, just walk away. That's just not normal behavior. You'd have to be like one of the most callous people ever to let that happen. It would definitely be like a breach of duty and like all sorts of things. And so the sheriff continues, see, Jacob had a huge heart. There's no way he would let somebody who was in distress just walk away. He would get, like he said, the paramedics or something involved. I think what this shows us is that Jacob was already sick at this point. He's already had something affecting him. His mind wasn't right. And his wife said his mind wasn't super right leading up to all of this. So I think this was already, it was already going, unfortunately. He might have been suffering for quite a long time. But I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth seeing if we can find the transient, just to make sure they're still alive.
And what day did you say the autopsy was again? Me forgetting and wanting to write the date in the notes.
The autopsy happened the day after he died, the 2nd.
And it's the 5th today, GM?
Today is the 7th.
Of
March.
Okay.
It is the Tuesday, and last Wednesday was when the autopsy happened. It was a week ago exactly that Jacob died on Tuesday.
And the coroner's been out since the 6th?
No, sorry. He died on Wednesday and then was autopsied on Thursday. It is now Tuesday. The coroner, yeah, he called in sick on Monday, yesterday. Yeah, we're hoping you can get some of your FBI resources and maybe ID that person and we can find out more.
Yeah, I think priorities, we should go check on the... We should get this ID'd and go check on the coroner.
Go check on the coroner. He's out sick. He's off duty. You don't need to... He's got the flu.
Yeah, but you said the deputy was sick, did you not?
I think he was sick with something a long time ago. But you think this is contagious? He looks at you much more worried now.
Well, it's always possible. We should check it out at the earliest.
In like a calm voice, I would say, no, we hope not, but just dotting our I's and crossing our T's.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, you can definitely have Sergeant Hayes with you. He'll Dr. Halsey, our coroner, he knows Hayes and he can help introduce you. Hopefully that'll be a good bridge there. Yeah, fine. We also have the body here if you want to take a look, but I understand if you want to leave that for later. It is getting rather late.
I mean, I think it's
The
good to
wellness
see if the
check.
autopsy turned anything up.
The autopsy said it was inconclusive. I heard they'd already transferred those notes to you. But
Yeah,
I'm sure the coroner's assistant, she can get you those notes again if you need a refresher.
well, it's also different in the notes than talking to a person, in my opinion, in my experience.
Yeah, this is understood, but please don't go harassing our coroner when he's out sick. If you want to do a wellness check, we can send out one of our guys. You can go with him if you want, but come on, he's sick.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do a wellness check on the coroner. I was talking about the assistant, asking the assistant questions about the autopsy.
Okay, that's all well
Sorry
and good.
for
She's still
the
here.
confusion.
No, I'm just protective of my people. She's still here. Yeah, you can talk with her. She won't be leaving for another hour or so. So, do you want to catch her while she's here, or do you want to go make that wellness check first? What's your priority here? This is your investigation. I'm just sending one of my guys to tag along with you wherever you go.
I would vote for check-in with the assistant. What do you all think?
Yeah, might as well since she's already here.
Yeah, we're already here. We should talk to her.
All right. Well, just down that door there. Let me just. And he walks over to it and inputs a few numbers on the handle. You can tell he like slightly paranoidly, like very much intentionally puts his body in the way so that you couldn't even like look at the number if you tried.
I was
and
gonna
then-
definitely say I wanted to see if I could see them.
You can tell by his posture and stuff like he is very intentionally like making a show of, oh no, you don't get my code here. Like he's suspicious basically. And he opens the door for you and lets you down there. It's a small like flight of steps down from there, and then they're just like a straight flight of steps, not like a stairwell. And at the bottom it's just dark underground basement vibes. And you do find the assistant down there, the coroner's assistant. You can see she appears to be very early 20s, probably still in college by the looks of her. Like maybe just 20 or 21. Very young. Is probably an assistant here to like learn on the job kind of thing rather than being like incredibly I mean, still doing assistant's duties, but you know what I mean. Essentially an intern. But she is sitting at a desk down there and greets you as you approach. Hello, Janet Reese. Hi, I'm the coroner's assistant here. Dr. Halsey isn't in today. I'm sorry, he's sick. Can I help you with anything?
I just wanted to hear your take on the coroner records for the person who died recently.
Well,
Anything
I can-
particularly strange go on during the autopsy? Any fluids or other contaminants splash onto the doctor?
No, nothing more than the usual body. The gut flora were very strange, of course. We left those in the notes. I can go over the notes again with you if you need them. But gut flora very strange. Wasn't sure what we found there, but we figure whatever it was probably just a symptom of whatever poisoning he had, essentially. That's what we figured, anyways. We don't know how he got poisoned. We really can't figure that out, but we do know he died of heavy metal poisoning.
Do you still have the gut flora here so the doctor could look at them?
Yeah, we do have a few samples. Yeah. We have the whole body if you really want to take a look. I mean,
I would
Here to do an
look at the
investigation.
doctor and ask if he's okay with that.
he'll just nod, yeah. Well, all right then. Right this way over here, and she'll lead you back and take a look at the body. The doctor gets to work. Do you have any questions for the assistant while the doctor works?
So, yeah, the assistant, I was going to ask, in the couple days after the autopsy, was the coroner acting strange in any way before calling out sick?
No, not particularly. I mean, he seemed to maybe be fighting something off on Friday, is what he said. He was sniffling a little bit. Thought maybe he was getting the flu, and sounds like he was right. That was Friday. But no, I'm hoping he'll feel better soon and be back in the office. All right. If there are no other questions, we can time skip ahead as the doctor works.
I have no questions.
I think probably, how long would the autopsy take?
Ooh, that is the one thing I did not write down here, shockingly. We'll say a couple hours. I actually don't see this noted in the book how long it would take, but we'll say a few hours. Makes sense.
And I mean, it's one already completed, so it's probably a little quicker the second go round.
It is, but I will say your doctor is not necessarily looking for cause of death. The coroner, you get the idea, just ruled like, yep, okay, this looks like heavy metal poisoning. That's how he died. That's what we came here to investigate. Case closed. Whereas your doctor's being a little bit more thorough and looking for things that might be more tangentially related, or other things that a normal coroner might have missed because they weren't looking for unnatural things. It's gonna take him some time.
Okay, I was thinking about doing the wellness check while he's there, just to make sure that the coroner is still alive.
Okay.
Yeah, can we send 2 people to the wellness check and keep 2? Because I mean, the sheriff is still here, so he can keep an eye on us.
Lieutenant Hayes will go with the 2 who go that way, and we'll handle that group of people next time. But for the purposes of cliffhangers, let's look at the body this time. So, who 2 of you went to the place? Went to the wellness check.
I think hematite would, for sure.
Right.
I probably would as well, because there's more information potentially with the coroner rather than staying in the station.
So hematite and high tide going away?
Yeah.
All right, so you 2 leave. That leaves Hallow and Hunter here with the Dr. Collins and Janet Reese, the coroner's assistant, and all of the sheriff and his men upstairs, but they're not down in the morgue. So the doctor just keeps investigating, and it appears, the time passes when Janet would usually go home, but she sticks around and says like, "Oh, it's fine. They'll give me overtime for this. It's an investigation." And you do learn a few things. First, the doctor has some samples. He's going to get analyzed elsewhere. He can't analyze them here. But he notes a few things to you. So very strange. Actually, kind of. He looks at Janet and says, "Perhaps we should let this young lady go home and we can discuss this ourselves." Oh, I suppose if you're all done here, yes, I can head out. And she looks to Hallow and Hunter to confirm.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'll have to walk you out and lock up, but then, yes. And, you do so, and where do you guys have this private conversation? Like, where are you just gonna head out of the sheriff's office and just into a car, or like, what's the location you're back?
Hal will check in with Sheriff Potter and just see if we can use the conference room real quick to go over some of the results.
Oh yeah, need to check some notes over. That's fine. Yeah, we got one right back here, and he leads you in there.
Great, thanks so much.
It doesn't like automatically record anything, does it? If it does, we get that turned off. This is confidential stuff.
Understood. And he waves to one of his guys who flips a switch. You see a camera in the corner with a red light turn off. This looks more like an interrogation room than a conference room.
Well, it's secure.
Yeah, okay, well...
Unless that was just a decoy camera.
So...
You never know when you might have to interrogate someone who's like crazy.
The doctor sits with his back to like the mirror on the wall, and says to you all, well, this may just be a symptom of his heavy metal poisoning, and he winks. But his body didn't seem to decompose at all in the week since he died. That's a little weird. In fact, actually, it almost appears like his cells aren't dead. He has no heartbeat, no nerve activity, nothing of that sort. None of his organs are doing anything. But the cells are repairing, rekindling. Yeah. Additionally, I found more samples of that bacteria in different places around his body. Very strange. His gut flora should stay in his gut, but they appear to be all over the place, all over his organs, in his skin, and his blood vessels. It just seems like
probably track with getting bathed in whatever substance, probably.
I don't know. I can't identify this. We're not going to need to get it to a lab, but it could be. It does appear to be some kind of gut flora-like thing. It's not like a virus, but I mean, we're going to need to study it more to find out. It does match the other samples, though.
So maybe we could like prevent a repeat of before by just like putting lots of penicillin in the water supply or something.
But maybe we could certainly check that. We'd need to find more samples of this summer to confirm where it came from. But they very strangely actually appear to be thriving in this environment. Gut flora like this normally would get quite killed by the levels of heavy metal in this man's body. But instead, they appear to be not just surviving, but like thriving. Like this is their food.
Is it possible they're producing it?
It seems more like consumption than production to me, but I'm gonna need more time studying them to find that out for sure. They were this is a cause and effect thing, right? Chicken and egg situation, but they were all gathered around his organs in highest concentration, all of the organs that built up the most heavy metals. It appeared to be more like chasing food behavior to me than... There are natural places in the body where heavy metals would accumulate if they were in his system, so... I've taken multiple samples. I'm going to get them sent off to labs. It might take a few days to get the results back, depending on how lucky we are, but... that's what we got, and I got plenty of samples to check later, so... There's definitely something very weird going on here, agents.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
I think... Okay, so we know the bacteria is there for the heavy metal related to it. But we don't know how the heavy metal got there.
Precisely.
I mean, you saw the video, Doc. This guy got vomited on. Like, that's got to be something to do with gut chemicals in Florida, right? And I know it's just the stomach, but it's close.
So, it certainly could be. There's something else that kind of concerns me, though. The pattern of heavy metals in his bloodstream and his organs and so on, and the way it spread through his body, it appears, just due to the concentrations of it, it looks like he's been eating the metals and digesting them himself. The human body normally doesn't digest these things, but that's what it looks like to me. It looks like nutrients being delivered through the system, but
so like
that's
the
not right.
bacteria's the bacteria is like making him eat it, and then it's eating it.
I don't know. One thing could be causing the other. They could both be coincidental. Something is very wrong here.
So we gotta be like keeping an eye out for anybody who's trying to get a hold of these metals. Like aside from like lead, it's gotta be pretty hard to get a hold of them, right?
Yeah, I'd imagine so. I mean, well, yes and no. Some of these things are more common than you'd think. If he has been eating them, just eating coins, eating bullets, heavy consumption of the vitamin supplements, eating batteries, eating just metal bits of cars and whatnot. These metals are everywhere.
So like if it starts to spread, it could go literally over the whole world.
I don't know.
Because like
I certainly hope it can't spread.
That's just ordinary stuff everywhere.
If this can spread, we need to lock this down. His eyes are going wider and wider as he's saying this. He's like, I was just like, in that body. We need hazmat suits. We need to contain this. If it can spread, I don't know if it can spread. Can it spread?
Well, you said it's bacteria, so like antibiotics. That's obviously first step, right?
And it only seems to thrive in heavy metal environments.
And like if you're getting hungry for batteries or something, well, first just don't eat it, but then like let us know. It seems like that's something that, you know, maybe you got to get locked up for a little bit, but if we just like keep the stuff away from you, all the bacteria and stuff should die by itself, right? Because it won't have any food. So it'd be like like rehab kind of.
Make sure you scrub out thoroughly.
You
didn't get any blood, any fluids on you. No.
No. I was careful. I wore gloves. But I didn't wear a hazmat suit or anything. We might need to. Listen, this might not be a simple thing to deal with. We could try starving it, like you say, but yeah, I'm worried it might start attacking the natural metals that are supposed to be in a body. I don't know. This is something we need to think about more. But I've sent some samples. I've got some samples. I'm gonna send them away. We're gonna figure this out. He's looking more and more worried as this conversation goes on, and I think that's where we're gonna end it for tonight because we're a little over time already.
All right.
But we've started the new mission. You guys have found a weird disease again, maybe? Something.
Well, it's a bacteria. It's not a disease.
I really want to keep asking questions, but like I'm not there anymore, and I don't want to swipe people.
Yes, Sam.
Well, we'll get to that next time. So thank you all for playing. I'm glad we're back at this.
Thank you very much for running, Jordan.
Of course, anytime.
You've already got me hooked on the new mission.